Hello students, welcome to biotechnology class. This is Gayatri, lecturer in biotechnology, DRW College, Gudur. This is continuation of our first class of animal tissue culture. Now we are going to discuss about primary cultures. In our previous lecture, we have discussed about the introduction of the tissue culture and how to maintain the laboratory of the tissue culture. Then now we are going to discuss about primary cultures. When cultures are surgically removed from an organism and placed into a suitable culture environment, they will attach, divide and grow. Okay, when cells are surgically removed from an organism and placed into a suitable culture environment, you have to remember, you just stress this word, suitable culture environment, then only there is a possibility of the cell division and growth. Otherwise, the cell may get destroyed and damaged and it will die. Then most of the primary culture cells have a finite lifespan of 50 to 60 divisions in vitro. In vitro means in laboratory, in test tube. In vivo means in living organism. Then primary cells are considered by many researchers to be more physiologically similar to in vivo cells. Primary cells are considered by many researchers to be more physiologically similar to in vivo cells. Primary cells means what? After detachment with an organism, there is a cell growth. Those grown cells are known as primary cells. They are almost related to similar to in vivo cells. In vivo cells means animal cells, living organisms cells. Then due to their limited lifespan, one cannot do long-term experiments with these cells. Okay, then see, this is tissue explants are excised using sharp scalpel or blade-like utensil. Then mechanical disruption by pestle and mortar. They just like you macerate. I mean, you make like just like paste like. Don't apply more pressure. Then filter using 0.22 microns filter. Then fit it to a syringe. Then enzymatic digestion by tyrosine or collagenase. Anyone you can use among these two. Cells are continued on a counted. Cells are counted on a hemocytometer 1 to 2 into 10.5 cells per milliliter is seeded into the media. 5 ml of cells is suspended into 25 centimeters with 2 flasks. The flasks are incubated in CO2 incubator. The flasks are observed daily for their normal growth characters. Okay, and then in the last step, we need to maintain a proper environment for the proper growth. Then this is isolation, this is digestion. These all are mechanical digestion concepts and fine digestion, chopping down from explant size and enzymatic disaggregation. By following all these steps, we start the cultivation. After that, after the outermost growth forming, then you need to subculture and maintain the cell lines. Then continuous cell lines. Most cell lines grow for a limited number of generations, after which they cease. Okay, normal and transformed. These are the differences in between normal and transformed cells. And then common cell lines, these are human cell lines, these are leukemia cells, these are HeLa cells, these are BAE1 cells, these are MCF cells, these are 3LL lung cells, these are Shy5Y neuronal cells, MRC5 fibroblast cells, these are kidney cells. Then subculturing. Remove spent media from the culture vessel. Already used media, you just remove that media. Then add the pre-warmed dissociated reagent such as trypsin. Gently rock the container to get a complete coverage of the cell layer. Incubate the culture vessel at room temperature for approximately 2 minutes. Then add equivalent of 2 volumes of pre-warmed complete growth medium. Disperse the medium by pipetting over the cell layer surface several times. Then split the cells into 2 to 3 flasks containing complete media, because here you are from single flask only you are getting these cells. You separately you distribute, then you can get new cells also, more cells you can get. Then incubate the cells. And cryopreservation. Cryo means ice. See, if you preserve at the coldest temperatures, that is called as cryopreservation. Remove the growth medium, wash the cells by PBS and remove the PBS by aspiration. Then dissociate the cells by trypsin, dilute the cells with the growth medium, then centrifuge at 200 grams for 5 minutes at retention time and remove the growth medium by aspiration, and then resuspend the cells in 1 to 2 ml of freezing medium containing DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide. Then transfer the cells into cryo vials. Incubate the cryo vials at minus 80 degrees Celsius overnight. And then detection of contaminants. How to detect contaminant? It is a very common. Whatever the precautions you take, you will get a few contamination flasks and test tubes. This is common. In general, indicators of contaminations are turbid culture media, change in growth rates, abnormally high pH, poor attachment, multinucleated cells, graining cellular appearance, then vacuolization, inclusion bodies and cell lysis. How to detect contamination means, in general, indicators of contaminations are turbidity. If you observe turbidity, thickness in the cell media, there is a possibility of contamination. And change in the growth rates. You have certain rate of growth now. If that growth rate changes, there is a possibility of contamination. Then if abnormally pH levels may increase, then there is a possibility of contamination. Then poor attachment also leads to the contamination. Then multinucleated cells, if you find out, there is a chance of contamination. Graining cellular appearance, vacuolization, inclusion bodies and cell lysis, all these are reasons of contamination. You need to keep an eye always. If you identify any one characteristics among these, you find out there is a chance of contamination. Yeast, bacteria and fungi usually shows visible effect on the culture. See, always you are these all are always ready to contaminate your media and your culture. Mycoplasma detected by direct DNA staining with intercalating fluorescent substances. Example, Hochst 33258. Mycoplasma also detected by enzyme immunosorbent assay by specific anti-sera or monoclonal antibodies or by PCR amplification of mycoplasmal RNA. The best and oldest way to eliminate contamination is to discard the infected cell lines directly. This is the somewhat better way to remove infected. If you take out infected cells and you just remove them, it is, you can save the healthy cells somewhat. Then in vitro transformation of cells. Transformed undefined or established cells you can transfer. Okay. Infinite cells are established cells only you can transfer. Change it from normal cells to cells with many of the properties of cancer cells. Some of these cell lines have actually been derived from tumors or are transformed spontaneously in culture by mutations. Chemical or gamma ray treated cells can become infinite with loss of growth factors. Okay, due to the gamma rays treatment or chemical treatment, there is a loss of growth factors. Viral infection with SV40T antigen can insert oncogenes and lead to gene alteration. See, this is the adverse and very improper effect of the viral infection. It always try to change the gene sequence, which alters the gene sequence of those healthy cells. So you have to take care of viral infections. No matter how transformation occurs, the result is a cell with altered. Then advantages of tissue culture: control of the environment, characterization and homogeneity of a sample, economy, scale and mechanization, in vitro modeling of in vitro conditions. In vitro modeling of in vivo conditions. There is a difference between in vitro and in vivo. I have already discussed with you. In vitro means in laboratory and in test tube. In vivo means in animal or in living organism. So, in vitro modelings you can introduce into in vivo. Then some certain limitations also are there. If you follow animal tissue culture, to grow cells outside their normal environment, three major controls are involved. Observing strict asepsis, providing the risk kind of physical chemical environment, nutrients in its simplest absorbable form, cutting techniques needed a great deal of expertise. Normal and experienceless and fresh peoples can't handle this condition. Okay, experienced people, they can deal easily, otherwise it is a very toughest step in the tissue culture. Tissue samples consist of a mixture of heterogeneous cell populations. Then continuously growing cells often shows genetic instability. This is another disability of the tissue culture. Then differences in the behavior or cells in cultured and in its normal form. Then should include proper balance of the hormones. Applications of cell culture: excellent model system for studying the normal physiology, cell biology and biochemistry of cells, the effects of drugs, radiation and toxic compounds on the cells. Study mutagenesis and carcinogenesis also. Then used for genetic transfer studies, large scale manufacturing of biological compounds, vaccines, insulin, interferons and other therapeutic proteins. Okay, this is about monoclonal antibodies, products, different products. Monoclonal antibodies we can produce, immunological, immunobiological regulators, then virus vaccines, then hormones. Okay, these are also some applications. Then products, enzymes, whole cells and tissue culture, then insecticides, and then see, all these are applications. Okay students, thank you. We will continue our next class in next video.